It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what.
Howdy, folks. Welcome in. You have arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast. My name is Steve. Up top, that Soul Gravy. This is
What's
his
up, everybody?
show, his place. Be nice to him.
What's up?
Tonight, we are thrilled to have Logan from the Logan Ryan Band in joining us. Welcome in, Logan.
How are y'all? Glad to be here.
Man, doing great, man.
Doing great. Doing better now that I know we get to do this. So
Yeah.
very excited. Well, welcome in. If you're on YouTube, we would appreciate it if you would subscribe. It is free, helps a ton. If you're on Facebook, great. If you're somewhere else and see us, go to YouTube. So yeah, thanks. Logan, we are going to have you give us a brief intro. So if you wouldn't mind just taking a couple minutes and giving us a little bit of your backstory, and then we'll get into some heavy duty stuff.
Yeah. So my name is Logan Ryan Skloss. I am the frontman for the Logan Ryan Band. I've been personally myself been playing guitar for since I was 12 and I'm 28 now, so that is 18 years. No,
16? Yeah, close enough.
something like that.
Yeah, a while.
I'm really good at math. I haven't been playing professionally since probably 2021 is when I started really getting into it and thinking I could really make a living out of it. So yeah, but I've always enjoyed writing songs. I've always enjoyed playing guitar, and I'm just glad that we're making a name for ourselves.
Absolutely. Y'all are doing some great things, and I've been fortunate enough to get to see you live now several times, and it's fun to watch. Very excited. So, congrats. We are going to quiz Soul Gravy about your hometown. This is always fun for the people, I think.
Yeah.
Both of them that joined us tonight. Gonzales, Texas, about 7,500 folks. That'd be
Okay.
Just
right?
a heads up, I'm not actually from Gonzales. I'm from a town by Gonzales.
Okay.
I just say Gonzales because it's the
Closest.
closest town that somebody
All
might
right.
know.
Are you
I'm
cool
from
with?
a town called Leesville. It's like 300.
Oh, okay. Well, are you comfortable with us using Gonzales
Yeah, it's fun.
as a? Okay.
I
All right.
claim it,
Well,
so
we're going to use Gonzales. Gonzales is about a little over an hour from Austin, a little over an hour
Okay.
from San Antonio, a couple, maybe 2 hours and some change to Houston. So if you look
yep.
kind of in the middle, that's
Gotcha.
relatively close to where Logan's from. All right, Soul Gravy, this one's going to be tough. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to wish you the best of luck.
All right.
We're going to start out with Phil Coe. He passed in 1871. That's what might make it difficult.
1871. He's probably either a cowboy or oh no, not what something in the military. No,
He might
I'm
have
not
been.
familiar with his work. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Phil Coe, 1839 to 1871. Not a super long life. He was a saloon owner, gambler, and was terminated in a gunfight with Wild Bill Hickok. So shout out to Phil.
And known not to pay the bands very well.
How about that? All right, this one it'll be your best chance, I think. Jerry Hall.
Jerry Hall. I'm not familiar.
What's one of your favorite loosest bands?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
What is one of your favorite loosest bands?
Loosest.
Yeah, they play loose all the time.
I mean, there's several, I guess. The Stones.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
I
So
was hoping we were on the same.
we are on the same page.
Okay.
She was an actress, but also had a connection to the lead singer of the Rolling Stones.
Okay. All right. All right.
She was,
so that would be Mick Jagger.
Yep, model, actress, and Mick Jagger's longtime companion. So shout out to Jerry Hall.
Companion. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right, Myra Hemmings.
I don't think I'm familiar with Myra's work either.
Myra, this is going to be a tough one. She founded and was the first president of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
Hmm.
All
All
right,
right then.
last one. I'll even give you a hint.
Okay.
Tom Seastack.
Where's the hint?
The hint is he played for the Buffalo Bills.
I think he was. I think he played for the Buffalo Bills in the NFL.
He did. He's also a member of the all-time AFL team. So
Okay, so he was in the
shout out to Tom.
60s and 70s.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. 62 to 68.
Seems
Defensive
like,
tackle.
all
So
right.
Have you heard of Come and Take It?
I have. Tell us about Come and Take It.
That's where it originated from, was Gonzales, Texas. Come and Take It, like the Come and Take It flag and everything, the cannon
Yep.
Okay.
says Come and Take It.
Gotcha.
It
That
was
has to do with
that's
Texas
where the battle
independence, right?
happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I actually had that in my notes. Thanks for reminding me.
For
'Cause
sure. The first
I literally
shots, the
typed in Come
Texas
and Take It.
Revolution.
Yeah. Shout out to Gonzales. Tons of cool stuff. All right. Well, we've bored you all with some educational information about Gonzales. Thank you, Logan. We're gonna get into the weird questions now. So
All right.
first off, we call this one the pie question. I'm gonna give you a pie, Logan. It's a musical pie, and I'm gonna ask you to. We're gonna divide it into 4 sections. So the 4 sections are songwriting, recording, performing, and then everything else that goes into running your individual business. That's the 4th category. Which of those areas do you, I guess, kind of naturally go to? Which do you feel like, okay, this is what I enjoy
Like a
most?
reference
Yeah, in terms of,
for
are you
a
best?
famous person? Or what do you say?
No. So, just if you're looking at your own music as a one piece of pie, you've got
What percent?
maybe not what percent, or you can if you want, but I want to know, like, do you gravitate to writing, recording, performing, or running your business? Where do you like spending your time? What do you think maybe you're best at?
Okay. What I'm best at is probably songwriting,
Okay.
performing. I would be a little below that.
All right.
Then the business side, I suck at that too. What was the 4th one?
Recording.
Recording. Oh, that'll probably be ahead of the business side.
Okay, cool. Do you have, so clearly, like, to go to the business is maybe not your thing that you naturally gravitate to. How do you feel about kind of the team that you have around you to help you with that piece?
With the business side.
Yeah.
So yeah, on the business side, like it wasn't until this year, a little bit earlier last year, that we started implementing like rules to how we pay the guys. Like I normally just try to split everything equally, and that would leave no money for hotels or for recording or for anything
Right.
other than, yeah, it would leave me in a big debt basically. So my mom, she's actually an accountant, and she's like, you got to stop doing that shit. And so she's been on my team. The guys, they understand it. Everybody understands it now. I understand it now. That's helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
And, there's a ton of different areas within the business. When you think about things that don't fall into writing or recording or performing, that leaves a pretty big slice of pie, whether you like it or not, of things from, booking to promotion to running socials to, you know, all the different things that go into,
Booking agent, photography,
yeah, all the,
everything. Yeah.
all those pieces. Yeah. Um,
I was I was going I was going broke real quick.
yeah. Would you say that is different than what you anticipated when you first started? Like, did you have a concept of like, Oh man,
No,
there's all these different pieces of what you have
no,
going
not at
on.
all. I was just like, me and my boys, we're gonna go play a show. We're all gonna make this much money. And then I was like, I didn't make any money. I fucking paid out $2,000. Everybody else made a lot of money. I paid for all their food at the restaurant. I paid for the hotels.
Right. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the songwriting. And I think you excel in a lot of areas, and I'm not just buttering you up because you're here, but your songwriting's super impressive. I'm interested in terms of process wise. Seems like everybody that we talk to has a little bit different process in terms of creating the art and kind of getting it out. Anything that you can share about your process?
Yeah, I got two different processes that I use. Like one is I'll write the guitar riff first. Like for example, on Cigarettes and Alcohol, I wrote the I wrote that riff first, and I was like, damn, I gotta write something to this. And that one and a couple other ones are the only ones that I've ever written like that. Everything else is just I would be I drive a lot for work and for playing music. I would just be in my car freestyling to myself.
Right.
And when I say a line in my head or out loud that sticks, I'm like, all right, there's something there, and then I'll start writing around that, and then I'll find the music later. But
Interesting.
basically, I use those two processes.
And are you into the phone when you're doing that? Are you like doing the memo thing,
Yeah,
or
I'll do the
can you?
voice memos, and then like my voice memos are full of a lot of it's terrible. A lot of it's got all my songs that I've released and all the songs we're recording now.
Yeah.
But that's basically I don't know. There's not really a set process to it. It's a lot of these songs will be written over time, like some of them in the span of 2 or 3 years.
Do you, in terms of like, do you ever get hit with like a lyric, maybe at a time where you wouldn't ideally want to get hit with a lyric? Does that like interrupt your day, or is that a situation, or do your thoughts stay pretty contained within your driving structure?
No, yeah, like I'll be welding and I'll be like, "Oh, that's a cool lyric." Then I gotta go take a piss break or something and record it, write it down.
Yeah, I think that's
If I
fat.
don't if I don't record it, I'll forget the melody or something. So a lot of time I'll write something down. I'll be like, "How did I? That doesn't even make sense."
Yeah, um, that seems more common, at least. I don't know if it's scientific, but from the folks that we talk to, if they don't get it down, like it's gone, and
Yeah.
you might remember a part of it at some point, but chances are it is Mahatma Gandhi. All right, let's see, Soul Gravy.
I'm curious on that. Just to follow up a little bit on the writing part. Why do you think it's driving and like working with your hands leads to those songs? You know what I mean? It seems to happen for a lot of people. Is it just because you're not distracted or
Well, it's just when you're driving and you're just left with your own thoughts, like you're thinking about life, and I guess you think about life a lot more clearly and to yourself than you would be with hanging out with people, and so you could actually have the time to put something together. Does that
I
make
was
sense?
yeah. And I was curious, like as far as if it's at work, you're like, I gotta get a hit song so I can quit doing this shit.
Nah,
Hurry up and write another song. Uh,
really, most of my inspiration is from real life stuff. Like I can't fake it.
Right,
I
that's
got
tough
you.
to do.
Well, when you said you started playing music around 12 or so, were you already kind of thinking about writing songs, or was it guitar and cover songs, and which came first?
Uh, So my dad played guitar and he wrote songs and stuff. He was, God rest his soul. He used to play a lot of original music, write a lot of original music,
Gotcha.
and he kind of gave it up, but he kind of got me into it. And he was a karaoke DJ and stuff. He'd sing a lot of old and country western songs. I was like, I could do that. Then I don't know. I got stories from like my mom and dad telling me that I would make songs up in a car seat, just driving down the road. I don't remember it, but it's just something that's always been attractive to me, I guess,
Okay.
writing songs.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, we talk to all kinds of folks that they're either they start off with the writing process is what intrigues them, or it's just, learning whatever covers we all learn, when you get your first guitar, or you know what I mean. So it is interesting to see how you can come from different directions on that, but end up in the same kind of in the same place.
Yeah, I used to be a
Um,
child model, believe it or
and
not, and
I'm kind of curious as far as
you hear
So,
that?
I think so.
So,
Tell us about. I think he cut out for a second. So tell us about being a child model. That's not something I get every day. So.
they had this talent portion of the contest, and I sang a song I wrote when I was like 13. It was called "Skulls of Fire."
Oh,
It was about the Iraq War, and you could say technically that was my first song.
what motivated you to decide to want to do that? Were you pushed, or was that something you wanted to do on your own?
It's like a half and half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soul Gravy,
My
can you hear us? I think he's
yeah,
locked up.
I can now. I
Oh
couldn't for
no,
a
there he is.
second.
Sorry, we
Okay.
were just answering. Uh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, no, it's okay. I don't.
This is what happens.
I got. Yeah, I got froze up for a minute, so I don't know what exactly what you're talking about. I come in on the
Nothing
back end of
important.
that
Yeah,
Nothing
we were
song.
just.
important.
He was talking about how he's a child star. It's fine.
Oh, okay, okay. Child.
I modeled for New Balance.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Very comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
Well,
My feet were in a newspaper before I was.
What's that, Logan? Sorry.
that
I said
he
my
said his
feet were in a
feet were in a
newspaper
newspaper.
before I
Yeah,
was.
Nice. All right. We're gonna wrap it back in here. Soul Gravy, you good now?
yeah. So I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, I
No,
think
you're
I'm
fine.
good
Go.
now.
For whatever reason, that's rare when Soul Gravy cuts out. So must be you got some squirrels chewing through the internet there.
Yeah, the gerbil's getting tired. Yeah, yeah. All right, so I want to make sure we talk about the fellas over at Western Grunge. Give them a shout out.
Yeah.
So they just did like a ranking or a rating, I guess I should say, of all of the whole catalog that Logan has out on social media or on Spotify and everything. So go check out that episode, and Mr. Steve there is a guest on
They
that
were
one.
hard up
Yes, yeah, they ran out of people to ask to come
yeah,
on the show.
somehow. That's odd. But
So I mean, I guess if I need to, I'll step in sometime, but preferably not when the guest is upcoming on the podcast.
on the next show. Yeah, yeah. Just this is how these things worked out. So
But luckily, Talbot rated all the songs, pretty highly. So as Logan's happy with all that. But that's a cool thing that they do, and the timing was pretty nice how all that worked out. So
it did.
very
And
very cool.
also a shout out to those guys. They're actually going to have Logan on here in the next 60 days or so. So
July, I believe.
yeah, if you like what you hear tonight and want to learn more about Logan, you can go hang out with those guys. No cooler guys around. So absolutely. I have a question that I'd like to ask before we get in. Believe it or not, we're going to be at halftime here relatively shortly. I know this is probably, Logan, something you didn't want to talk about, but you had kind of an eventful weekend. Can you tell us about that?
About our truck and trailer getting stolen?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. All right. So I was working up in Dallas, Cockrell Hill area, West Dallas. There's this hotel we always stay at with our work trucks, and it's always been safe. We've never gotten broken in there or nothing. And then the band, we were playing a show in Oklahoma Friday, I believe it was. Might have been Saturday. But anyways, the band, they all came up to stay with me at the hotel room the night before, so we didn't have to wake up so early. And we woke up in the morning and our truck and trailer was gone. Uh,
Literally the
luckily,
worst.
the worst. Luckily, I had my guitar with me up in the room, and the lead guitar player, Garrett, he brought his two guitars and his amp and his pedal board up to the
Oh,
room
nice.
because we were all jamming in the hotel room. And we were making jokes about it too, because Leo, the bass player, is like, "Man, you didn't grab my bass. Now we're gonna get broken into. Somebody's gonna steal our shit."
Oh man.
We kind of jinxed it, I guess. But
Ah,
yeah, we woke up the next morning and our truck and trailer was stolen. There's three other people that had their vehicle stolen. Some poor family from Missouri with like all their kids. They were going down to Galveston. They had their vehicle stolen. It was just a bad deal. We thought we were gonna have to cancel Town, but luckily Jackson Malone Band, they, the drummer Colton, he let us borrow his truck. They backlined the whole deal,
awesome.
so it was cool.
That's what
Shout
I
out
But
was
to
gonna.
those guys.
yeah, we
I was,
set up a GoFundMe. Anybody feels like they want to donate or share it.
Absolutely. Where where's the best place to find the link for that? Okay.
Uh, on my Facebook, Logan Ryan Band Facebook, you could find it there in our feed. And then I also put it into our Instagram links bio.
Absolutely.
did
And I didn't know about it until one of the other pages that we do some stuff with. I don't know how I missed it on your page or whatever, but you know how sometimes the algorithm doesn't feed you the stuff that you actually want and it just
mm,
feeds you other stuff.
mm-hmm.
So I saw Patrick post it and I was like, oh man, how did I mean, this must have just happened. How did I miss this or whatever? To be fair, I also had a child graduate from college, so I was a little bit distracted, but this is not the first time, Dallas. Dallas, you can do better. This has happened at least three times now that I know of, which is pretty frustrating.
So did you have? I'm assuming you got some other musicians kind of reach out to you and like I know sometimes it's kind of hard to tell what community you have, even in the music,
We had a ton.
that's what I was curious. Yeah, just people
Everybody's
reaching.
like, "Hey man, y'all can borrow our stuff if you need to." Like overwhelmed with the amount of people that reached out.
That's that's good to hear. I mean, I'm not. I guess I'm not surprised, especially in that community of music. But still, you never know. Who's listening or who sees it or who cares or whatever until something like that or any situation happens, and because they probably, unfortunately, a lot of them have probably been there.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories.
You know, it is interesting because we, as a, I think on social media in general, we tend to underestimate the what is seen. You know, sometimes we'll put something out and we'll be like, man, I spent 45 minutes on that. How come 212 people saw it? You know, like
Hmm.
I feel like it could be more. But a
Tens and tens
situation
of
like
people.
that, you find out one, actually how many people get to see what it is that you're putting out, which is interesting. But then also two, there's a lot of people that talk and say, "Hey, we're here to support you," and yes, that's nice. But when the rubber hits the road, not everybody steps up. Um, I think this situation shows, and I have no idea who all reached out to you, but that being said, I feel pretty confident that there was a decent sized group of folks that stepped up and said, "Hey, whatever you need." So
Hmm.
shout out to the community for sure.
Great community.
Absolutely. Before we get into halftime, can you just tell us a little bit about your band? You guys are 4, 5,
Rocking a 4-piece right
4.
now. Uh,
Okay.
Lead, bass, drums, acoustic guitar.
Yep. Anybody you want to recognize in the band?
Oh, they're all great, man. You gotta shout out Leo. He's the newest member. He's been with us for a little over a year. He's the one that got his bass stolen. Uh, Brent, he got his drums stolen. He's been with me for a long time. I've known him since I was like 14. He's always been there to play. And Garrett McKinley, best lead player in Texas, man. Gotta say it.
Yep.
He's awesome.
Uh,
He plays with a lot of people, but he's a younger guy too, and he's always been solid, always willing to learn. I mean, he knows everything, but
I think it's pretty impressive when your newest guy, has already been there over a year. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's not always the case. So, like,
Even
shout
in
out
bar
to you.
bands, that's not the case.
That says a lot about what you're doing and your leadership and the faith everybody has and whatnot. So, kudos to you on that, because that's one of the hardest parts about leading a band, is just keeping everything together.
the hardest part is finding a band, really.
Right,
But
right.
because you don't want to book shows without a tight band, and then the band doesn't want to play with you if you don't book any shows.
Yeah.
So
Chicken and egg, right?
it's hard to find that.
Find the guys that'll stick with you long enough to get those shows.
Hmm.
Yeah. See, before we get to the halftime, it seems like a good moment to ask if folks come to a Logan Ryan Band show, what kind of flavor should they expect?
Kind of flavor.
I don't know what it's-
I mean, I wouldn't say we get super rowdy like you would expect at a Gavin Attic or a Treaty Oak concert.
right.
I mean, we're all about the music. I don't really talk a lot on stage. I'll introduce the songs and say a little bit about them, but it's all about the music, really.
Understand. So don't throw any cups or beers.
I
If you
mean,
go
you
to a
can
live.
buy us shots, just don't throw them at us.
That's fair. That seems fair.
And then we'll always hang out after too.
Yep, I can vouch for that. All right, so we are at halftime, folks. Shout out to you all watching on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Go to YouTube though. That's we say that. Also, while you're looking around on social media, go find Logan on any of the socials, but specifically on Facebook. There's a link there in the chat that can get you to the GoFundMe, which I'm sure whatever amount you could contribute would be greatly appreciated. So thanks for that. The song that we are going to play is called 14 Days. Logan, I'm going to have you introduce it. Tell us whatever you'd like about it. And then also, once you finish with the introduction, if you could just hit the mute button. That way, when Soul Gravy plays it, we'll get the best cut of it.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. So 14 days. Actually wrote this song right after Guess Some Dreams Come True, and it's about the same person. So that whole thing, it wasn't Guess Some Dreams Come True, I guess. But yeah.
Didn't know that. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get get a picture.
All right. Well,
but I
we
don't
will
think I found
awkwardly
one in
stare at
time.
each other until
Okay.
Soul
Yep.
Gravy gets the.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The Logan Ryan Band, 14 Days.
slipping away, falling out, getting shorter each passing day. And I know it's just a matter of time, getting awfully cold at the end of your line. Cold like the night we first met at a bar down at the yards. I saw your silhouette, felt like an owner, another lifetime, felt like I could make it mine, oh mine. Thought we lived spartan, but even flames can't light the way through a heart that dark. So I spent 14 days in Terry County, having half of mine staying, but I never caught what I was chasing. Guess it's all a game you play, and I don't know why. Just don't see, well, it was all looking pretty damn good to me. Maybe if you gave a damn, yeah, you've been good. Maybe it's just a cowboy me chasing spirits, wild and free. She took all in my heart, all my wants and needs. No warnings or signs, cautions to heed. Well, if you ever need me, honey, you know where I'll be. Crossroads of heartbreak and misery. 'Cause I spent 14 days in Terry County, having half of mine stay, but I never caught what I was chasing. Guess it's all a game you play, and I don't know why. Just don't see, well, it was all looking pretty damn good to me. Maybe if you gave a damn, well, you've been good. I spent 14 days in Terry County, having half of mine staying, but I never caught what I was chasing. Guess it's all a game you play, and I don't know why. Just don't see, well, it was all looking pretty damn good to me. Maybe if you gave a damn, well, you've been good.
There we go.
Man, that first picture you pulled up was a throwback. There's actually a
Well,
Carson Jeffries lead player was in that picture playing bass, and Casey Donahue's old lead player was in there playing lead. That was like a 11, 12-year-old picture.
hang on, Steve. There you go. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the kind of professional setup that you expect when you arrive at the Texas to Tennessee podcast,
That's
folks.
right.
Appreciate it. Hell yeah, that song is phenomenal. Folks, if you don't follow already Logan Ryan, wherever you stream your music, you should. That was, I think, a good example of his music.
I'm always curious when you have to sit and listen to your recordings like that. What's kind of going through your head? Are you nitpicking it apart, or are you thinking about the folks that played on it, or place and time, or
Like now, it doesn't bother me that much because before I released it, I already nitpicked the hell out of it.
understood?
Because yeah, I wasn't gonna release it if I didn't nitpick the hell out of it. But I did everything I can to make it the best it is.
Well, it made it to a high ranking on Talbot's
Yeah,
list.
shout out to me. Um, well, I do think it's interesting because you like it is we have to remember it is a snapshot, and songs
Hmm.
evolve and change a little bit, but also it's a little, I don't know. I think if people saw the amount of, for most artists, they spend a lot of time going over and being self-critical about songs before they arrive to our
Hmm.
ears.
Hmm.
And I think if people saw that, or maybe saw that more of that, they'd understand maybe a little bit better. But I mean, I think it's a great product, and I'm sure there's parts to everything that you're like, if I had a chance to do that over again, maybe I'd do it a little bit differently. But like that's the time and place that it was, and that's, I
It's
think,
the same.
super
It's
cool.
the same thing as like people picking out outfits or whatever. As far as like as
That seemed
far as
like a good idea.
the women out there, that they pick a outfit out, and then you think you're headed out the door, and you look again in the mirror, and you're like, son of a. And
It sounds like that only happens in your house.
not, yeah, not too much really, but no, it sounded like a good analogy in in
Yeah,
my
no,
brain.
I'm with you.
Okay,
Um,
I mean I do that all the time. That's what I meant to
yes,
say.
I got you. Yeah, we need all the female
Which
support in
black
this channel we
T-shirt
can
am I
get.
gonna wear?
Yeah,
No, 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 not this one. The other one. Okay,
yeah. Shout out to Chief Records too. I
that's
saw you
right.
got a new T-shirt.
Got that in the mail today. Appreciate those guys.
Yeah,
I'm a big Chiefs fan and a big Records fan, as you can see behind me.
I got a few
So,
records.
yeah, that's a perfect pairing. I've never been to Fort Worth, but when I go, I'm gonna go to Chief Records.
So Logan, I want to ask you a little bit about like the arc of your music and kind of how it's developed. Um, can you talk a little bit about maybe the production side and kind of where you started and where you've come?
Yeah. So as you know, the first song we released is Buenos Noches. We released it 2017. And that song is actually recorded in my living room. It's
Hmm.
just guitar, drums, and a fiddle on it, really. That's all there is on it. There's no bass guitar, there's nothing else. Percussion, tambourine and stuff. But yeah, that was recorded in my living room because I wanted to get into recording and everything. And I was like, I'm gonna do all my songs like this. And then I was like, it's a lot harder than it looks.
Sure.
So and then easier said than done. We actually recorded 3 songs on that run, but 2 of them have never been released. And easier said than done. I mean, that one released, I forgot when, but I sat on that one for 2 or 3 years before I released it. But we recorded it at Firehouse Studios in San Marcos, which is Texas State student studio.
Yep.
And so David Elder, the guy that plays lead on all the songs, he knew somebody that was there recording. And that was our first time going in the studio and actually doing like a studio recording. And so we're like, oh, this is a lot better than I could do. But like that whole gap that I had not releasing music was just me trying to record and not getting the sound I wanted.
Hmm.
So now I just learned pay people what they're worth, and it
Y-
gets a lot of stress off your back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough lesson, right? Like you have to kind of go through it to figure out what it is that you not only want but possibly can be, right? Like
Hmm.
you find somebody that sees what you see and kind of getting to that next
Yeah.
level of mixing and mastering and all the
Everything is not a do-it-yourself project.
right, right, for sure. Um, and then I know you have talked a little bit about, at least publicly, about kind of what you have going on with music coming down the road. Anything that you can share there?
Yeah, so we're currently in the studio right now recording an album. Was originally going to be 13 songs, now it's going to be 12 songs because I didn't like one of them. Didn't want to pursue it, but yeah, we still got four more to record. The others are they're getting done right now. They're getting mixed and mastered. A couple of them just need a couple more instruments on them. But yeah, it's rolling good, rolling steady. Excited to get it out. We're looking at maybe fall for a release date.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Anything that you can share in terms of the production or facility that you're working with, or is that something that you're comfortable sharing?
Yeah, so the last batch of songs that were released and the cigarettes and alcohol EP, they're all recorded with David Beck, and he's the producer on this album too. And we're also working with Pat Matsky out of the Zone in Dripping Springs,
Fantastic.
recording some stuff there too. I was
Great.
kind of mixing the two studios together, two producers together, and liking what we hear.
Great. Anything that you can share with regard to maybe what, I don't know, not necessarily thematically, but sounds, direction that you're going, or anything that might be a little bit of a
Yeah,
change?
yeah. I was listening to the that podcast you did yesterday, and you were thinking I was maybe going the Gannon Freeman Treaty Oak route. I mean, I'll say that's not entirely off, but we're definitely not going to be that rockish.
Aggressive, yeah.
Uh, there's going to be a couple songs that are kind of up that alley, but a lot of it's going to be Texas country red dirt.
Yeah. Things that we're used to hearing. Yeah.
Just kind of, yeah, just kind of like the last EP, I guess. But
Well, well, I know at least on this end, we're excited to whatever new music we get, and thankful to get it. So looking forward to it.
What about the guys in your band? Are they parts of some of the recording as well?
yeah, I used my bass player, my lead player, and then we brought in another lead player to share leads. Uh, but and there's three songs that our real drummer is on.
So do you think they've kind of I guess feel more connected to the songs that they're a part of making as well? Does that make sense?
I feel like
When it comes to being on stage with those songs.
yeah, and it saves a lot of time with rehearsal because they already know it.
Yeah.
But there's like I said, the three songs is the drummer is on, but he's not on the rest right now because he hasn't learned how to play the click track yet.
Oh,
But
tricky.
sorry, Brent.
That's
He just
okay.
hasn't had time in the studio like the other guys. But that's something we're working on, and he's willing to learn. But this drummer we got, his D's, he's played on the whole EP before, and he's just a really good studio drummer. So
Understood.
kind of
Understood.
made things a little more streamlined.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, but I do want to point out real quick as far as on YouTube, and we've had a lot of positive feedback and stuff on your songs. I was just talking about one person talking about digging the lyrics of the song we played, and the way you're basically telling a story. Just cool to see all the instant feedback. So if you don't watch the pod on being recorded live on YouTube and Facebook, please go do so next time. Because it is cool to see one ask for more cowbell in the next recordings. So we'll
You
get
gotta
that.
check out My Deer. It's got a lot of cowbell.
It does. There's definitely
I specifically asked more cowbell in that song.
Did they think you were telling a joke at
I feel like
first, or?
that would have
Nah,
made for great social media.
it worked out good.
Yeah. Uh,
Beautiful.
well, since I brought that up on social media, I'm curious, just like your
Mhm.
general thoughts about social media and kind of how you go about it.
Yeah, so for the longest time, like, TikTok has blown up so many artists. I refused for the longest time to post on there. I just thought it was gay, I guess. I just didn't want to sit there and fucking lip sync in front of a camera.
That's
But
okay. You don't have to do that.
ever since I started doing it, I mean, we went from 10,000 monthly listeners to 165,000 on Spotify. So, because I just saw everybody blowing up on there, and I was like, man, I guess I gotta do it.
Well, to be fair, just scrolling TikTok, I hear your songs quite a bit. I heard your songs before I knew who you were or that you were coming on the podcast. So it
Well,
definitely something is helping spread the word. So
and Logan, to be fair, I've also shoved your music absolutely down his gullet. So, uh,
hmm
Good, good.
yeah,
I can tell you how he describes the way that you sing.
Old and young.
Exactly.
man,
Yeah,
there's nothing quite like it. I love it. So it's
thank you
but
for sharing it, Steven.
you bet, man.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right. So I know lots of folks have given you advice from time to time. Probably some of it good, some of it not so great. Anything, you don't have to like dox anybody, but anything super positive in terms of advice that you feel has been really beneficial. And then on the flip side, maybe some advice that wasn't the best advice.
Uh, Shoot, I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. A lot of it we figured out on our own. Uh, a lot of people just say the same thing, keep going, keep going. I don't think there's anything that's been like rock solid that I could
Right.
go off right now, or that I can't think of right now. But
That's okay. All right. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Soul Gravy.
if I
So
had advice to give anybody, I would say, like, if you're just starting out, I would say record your music, get it out there, because I played the bar scene for a long time, and it's not like the olden days where you play 100 shows a year and your music spreads. Everybody's gonna want something to look at now. They want you gotta you gotta have a social media presence so people can look you up after your show. You gotta have stuff out there actually. I got a lot of friends playing music and they're so good, but they don't have anything released.
Right.
mm,
And if they did, they could be way up there.
Yeah, for sure.
you mentioned earlier, it's kind of in passing because we were moving on to something else. But as far as you said, you always hang around after a show. Um, we ask this question quite a bit, but I'm always curious of different folks' your answer. If you're in a opening band spot, or you can tell the crowd doesn't know much of your music, but from the stage you start to see the heads bob, they're starting to get into it. What's that like from you and or from your point of view, and then also when you meet folks at the merch table afterwards, how's that for you?
Oh, I love it. When we can connect with new fans, that's the greatest thing ever. When you play an open spot and people are like, "Man, I never heard of you, but we're definitely looking you up now." And it's so cool to make new fans, especially in a live show, because that knows that you're doing a good live show, I guess. But that's a hard spot for musicians, is to sound better live than they do in recordings, and we've always had great feedback about that. So
Yeah,
I'm glad for that.
understood. I'm sure that's great words to hear for sure. Uh, what about as far as just your outlook on a show when you're headlining compared to in an opening spot? You kind of go at them about the same, or
Yeah, we play every show the same. it's always a lot cooler when you're headlining because the crowd's there for you. But yeah, we always go out to the merch table after the show. When we have merch, we got to reorder all our merch now because it all got stolen.
Uh,
But but yeah, we always go out to the merch table. We always hang out with fans and probably drink a little more than we should. But I don't know. I just love meeting everybody that messes with us.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you've been in that position as a fan. Go to see somebody and they hang out for a minute and they, take a picture, shake a hand, and you're more of a fan because they were
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it. That's why I always hang out.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that's fuel in the tank for everyone involved, from the actual fuel to being creative and keeping on going, and then the fans as well. What does Logan like to do that's not music related? What's some of your hobbies?
Man, I really don't have a lot of time these days. I would say between welding and playing music because I still weld full time. Uh, I like to hang out with my family. I got a wife and a baby, so any dead spot I got in between welding and music, I want to spend it with them as much as I can, and maybe go try a new food spot, try to cook something new. I'm pretty boring, but yeah,
That's okay. That's a good brownie point answer anyway. So shout out to you on that. That's well played. I believe you, but it's also smart.
I think Logan wanted to say just hanging out and trying to make TikToks, but that
yeah.
not the right
I
answer.
just, I just
All
like
right.
lip syncing
I
TikTok,
thought
Yeah,
it
right, for sure.
cocaine and hookers.
That's right.
cocaine and
Fair,
hookers.
fair enough.
All right. Well, we are to Logan. We're almost done. So the good news is
Hmm.
we're almost done. Um,
Okay.
this is called rapid fire. We're gonna ask you a few questions and just whatever
Oh
comes.
shit.
You're good, man. Just
All right.
whatever comes to your head. Um, at some point, Soul Gravy, we're gonna get to on this question where we're gonna have artists that are just too young to answer this. So we're gonna find out here real quick. Um, what's an album that you purchased more than once?
Purchased?
Yeah. So
Yes.
maybe a
What's
CD.
an
I might
album
be too young. I don't know.
what's an album you downloaded from LimeWire more than once?
Probably corn.
Oh,
Okay. The original. The what was
Yo,
it?
what a single say. Fuck that.
there you go. That's a first for sure. We've not
Uh-huh.
had
Uh-huh.
corn yet. So shout out to corn. All right. So you get dinner with one historical figure. Who might that be?
One historical figure. Okay, Joe Walsh.
Oh, that would be super interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I have so many questions that I'd like to ask also. All right. This one I only ask of people that I've actually seen play live. But I want to know what you see. What do you see when you're playing guitar?
See a bunch of people staring at me awkwardly.
Yeah. Well, on the flip side of that, I will also say, so there's something that's going on right now, at least for the Logan Ryan shows that I've been to. Pretty cool. It's a handful of songs where people are just screaming them back at them, and that's usually a pretty good indicator of what's to come. So,
How was that when that first happened? Because I know you did a lot of grinding, before a lot of folks knew the lyrics to your songs. But when people were really starting to sing it back, how did you react to that?
Oh, it was weird because like I wrote, I think the first song that it happened on was "Signed Love Wynonna,"
Mhm.
and when I was writing "Signed Love Wynonna," I was like, how can I make this to where the crowd wants to scream it in like a way I could put it? So I kind of pictured it in my head before it ever happened, and it happened with that song. So I was like, I'm a genius, man.
Oh my gosh,
I
you're a
don't
genius.
I'm genius.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll
I
tell you.
don't know. It was cool. It was a good full circle moment,
Yeah.
I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And then the
super.
rest, just they kind of found the other songs, and it just started happening more and more. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we're gonna continue to see it, so I'm excited. Uh, Logan, tell me what your ideal green room looks like.
Ideal green room, cooler full of Coors Light, maybe some Pendleton whiskey, couches, a shower, a record player with a bunch of cool old records. Floor's Country Store, basically.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Floor's
Right on.
Country Store's got the best green room I've seen. Also, Grady's Pub. It's got a really cool green room.
Up in Yukon.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got the record shop and a golf simulator. I suck at golf, but
yeah, it's
it's
super
fun
cool.
to fake it.
Our friends up at have you played Red River Station yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so they have a golf simulator as well. So get them. Yeah, I don't know who's doing your booking, but get them on there. It's pretty fun. Let's see here. All right, this is one. What's a song of yours that you feel maybe is a little bit underloved? Like a song maybe that you really like that hasn't maybe got as much attention as you would hope.
Did I say Guess Some Dreams Come True?
It's a good one.
Would that be considered underrated?
Yeah, well, it's your answer, so absolutely. There are a bunch of questions that I'm saving for our friends at Western Garage because I know we talked about some questions we wanted to ask that I'm not going to ask, so just
Okay.
FYI. First concert that you attended, first concert that you paid for.
First concert I attended was probably Shiner Oktoberfest.
It's a great name.
First concert I paid for. Oh, well, at the Shiner Oktoberfest, it was like a bunch of rock music. It was like Godsmack and Blue October, Pat Green. Pat Green's not rock, but
Right.
uh, and then the first concert I paid for was probably Turnpike Troubadours and Ryan Bingham at Whitewater in like 2012.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hmm.
That might be. I mean, I'm a little biased, but that might be a winner for
It
answers
was a
right
really
there. Yeah,
good concert.
pretty solid. All right. What's on your Bucky shopping list?
I don't even go to Bucky's. I hate Bucky's.
All right. Well,
Bu-
we'll move
Busey's.
on to the next one.
What's the Busey's?
So it's like a if I want to go to a gas station, I'm not going to Walmart. You know,
There we go.
just saying, just saying.
All right. We're seeing a little bit of turn with Bucky, so that question may not stick around. Tribute bands, yay or nay?
Uh, I'm gonna say yay because I saw an AC/DC tribute band and I loved it.
Nice.
It was so cool.
Do you remember the name? It's usually.
DCAC? I don't know.
And there are usually some great names.
Yeah,
I
no.
saw it at a Blue Bonnet Palace in San Antonio, but they even looked like them. They were dancing like them. It was cool.
Nice. All right. Well, that's the end of Rapid Fire. Soul Gravy
All right.
has. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Um, so make sure you go follow Logan on all the socials. Engage in their post. Go check out the GoFundMe on their socials and give that thing a share. And if you are so inclined, help some homies out with everything they lost. They get a kind of a rundown of all of that. It was like you said, they had a couple guitars in the hotel room, and everything else that it takes to do a show was in the trailer. So,
Yeah.
which is a lot, including the merch, as he said. So when you go to a show and you go to the merch table, give something anyway. Help them
That's
get
right.
down the road. Go get a picture and leave a 20 or something. All right, this is the most important question, Logan.
All right.
All right, what is your favorite Little Debbie snack?
I like the sprinkle brownies.
The cosmic brownies. Okay. All right. All right.
There we go.
All right.
Important answer.
Mm-hmm.
Logan, thank you so much for taking time, hanging out with us. You're going to hang out with for a couple more minutes after this, but folks, we appreciate you joining us.
Thank y'all.
If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Anyway, thank y'all. Soul Gravy, thanks.
We'll see you.